Hello and welcome to the Knights of Awakening. I'm your host, Justin Gates. Today I'm going to be speaking on a topic that came up in the comments yesterday. I don't even know what I'm going to call this video, but the subject matter is a great one to discuss and share. Before we get started though, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're not already a subscriber. If you like this video, hit the like button and share it with your friends on social media. It goes a long way in helping us reach our goal. Charles had posted a poll for our friends over at the Order of the Thorn asking for feedback on future topics. One of the responses gave me pause because it's something that I see a lot in my travels. It's something that I've shared for many years with the many that I've encountered and mentored, but I don't think that I've actually really addressed it here on the channel. Katie Burke posted a comment that says, "Perhaps something like knightly transformation. Not everyone has practiced and upheld knightly virtues their whole life. Some of us have things to clean up from our past. How to right wrongs. Now to move forward and not to live in the past. Things to focus on and keep in mind when trying to better yourself." That's such a great question, and I want to thank you, Katie, for inspiring this topic and for giving me permission to use it. I want to break this down a bit and hit on some specific areas. I feel like I have to mention that in this response that I'm not addressing Katie specifically, as I don't know her well enough to make any assumptions about her path or her life or anything like that. But it's important to first understand what it is meant by the word knight. This word means different things to many different people, and I want to begin by quickly explaining how we see this word and how we use it at the Knights of Awakening. We use the word knight to define someone who serves. We believe the best path to self-betterment is by serving our fellows, by serving each other. Learning, sharing, and growing happens when we go about it in this way. A knight, as we use this word, is not meant to have only some kind of martial connotation to its meaning. Instead, the word knight is a person who is dedicated to all parts of the self, the mind, the body, and the spirit or soul, using the talents and skills developed over time to serve a higher purpose. A knight for us is both a martial warrior and a spiritual sage. A knight is someone who could teach a skill but also defend someone else if necessary. A knight, as we see it, can be a mystic or a warrior, a teacher, all of these things and so much more. Part of the statement that I want to address next is not everyone has practiced and upheld knightly virtues their whole life. Some of us have things to clean up from our past. How to move forward and not live in the past, things to focus on and keep in mind when we're trying to better yourself. Well, it's been my experience that these people make some of the best knights that I've ever had the pleasure of serving alongside and communing with. Kind of like the best shield that comes from a tree that has withstood the test of time and the very best that Mother Nature could throw at it for 100 years. To the sharpest sword, forged in fire, pounded and folded, reshaped with heat and pressure. In my mind, some of the best people are shaped and forged in this way too. It is hard to have empathy towards others if we can't possibly understand what it's like to be on hard times, or to know struggle or strife. I myself was a much different and darker person than I am today. For the sake of those of you who may be newer to our channel or our page and our little band of misfits, I will share with you quickly what I'm talking about. When I speak of darkness, understand that I'm referring to those baser emotions and actions that cause harm, not just to others but to ourselves. I was once a very dark and uncaring individual. I cared not for the suffering of others as long as it wasn't happening to me. I manipulated people to fit my needs and desires, and I did not care who got hurt along the way, as long as I was happy. I learned and practiced arts that were designed to make use of others in ways that will be unspoken. I even found myself enjoying the misery of others, calling them weak and feeble. To be completely honest with you, I was a huge a-hole. This came from years of abuse and being bullied, and using anger and rage to exact my quote-unquote revenge on everyone, whether they were guilty or not. Of course, in hindsight, this never got me anywhere. I slept in my car at times and had no money, lost loved ones along the way, and the list goes on. I did not know or care about codes or of honor or of compassion. I blamed everything on everyone else, and after all, they were the ones causing me so much pain and suffering. It was only fair that I did the same to them. Once I suddenly grew physically stronger, of course, and more capable and able to exact this revenge on them. It wasn't until I joined the United States Army that I was taught hard and fast the meaning of personal accountability, personal responsibility. Now, I'm not suggesting that everyone join the military in order to make a change for the better. It's just what set me upon this path that I'm on now. And it's what started me on the path of self-realization. It was during that time that I learned of codes and of honor, of respect, integrity, duty, and obligation. I studied many different religions and magical systems that were light-oriented. Years later, I met a man named Derek Thompson. He ran an order of Jedi Knights called Jedi Knights. It was there that I began to put the pieces together. I learned how to practice a path, how to bring all that I had been through into understanding, and to help find closure. It brought me to the point where I could finally fill that hole in me that was missing. Take it from someone who went from one extreme to the other. If it's possible for a poor wretch like me, then it's possible for anyone. How do we clean up our past? Well, for me, I started with personal accountability. To face myself in a way that I was brought before myself and judged upon the things that I did. Brought before the choices and actions that caused harm to others. By taking responsibility for my choices and actions, I was able to begin a process of healing and forgiveness to both myself and to others. It can be scary and it will be hard. And it will bring up old wounds that really never healed. When one can look directly into the darkness and come out knowing struggle and knowing sacrifice, understanding imperfection, bathed in fire and forged by heat and pressure, you come out changed, stronger, and better for it. That change starts with the self. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Learn prayer or meditation, or do both, like I do. Set for yourself a set of values and virtues that will help keep you in line with who you want to be. Commune with others who emulate the kind of person you wish to be more like. Find those who can guide you to a place and to set you upon a path that you can make your own. It is about choosing to make a change. It's about choosing to make a shift in your perspective. Start to learn and practice being patient and understanding with yourself. If one cannot be patient with themselves, then how can one be patient with a stranger? If one cannot be kind to themselves, then how can you be kind to others? If we can't love ourselves deeply, then how can we love anyone else? Continue forever and ever to take internal inventories of where you are in your life and in your path. Continue to evaluate what is working for you and what is not. Keep what works, get rid of the rest. Personal dogma is better than being subjected to someone else's dogma. By practicing deep introspection and contemplation, you are exploring your innermost thoughts and feelings, your most intimate and personal beliefs and understandings. If done honestly and faithfully, growth and progress within your path and life will be found. True change will happen in a more open and healthy way. Do your best to offer and entertain as many perspectives as possible in an effort to see something familiar through a new lens. As individuals, we cannot possibly know and experience all of the potential different understandings by ourselves. This does not mean that we have to agree with everyone else or their perspectives. We don't have to agree with everything that we come across in our travels. The key is to entertain those perspectives that are different. And by entertaining, we're simply contemplating an idea through the eyes of another. Entertaining new perspectives will have the effect of either finding a new understanding that had not occurred to you, which will allow you to expand beyond your current understanding, or strengthening your own currently held understanding and perspective, which allows you to be more confident and steadfast within your life and your path. Work and practice to be more open and receptive. It's important to see and experience the world and ourselves from an outside perspective at times, but do so with honesty in your heart. To shed dogma and preconceived notions in a way that opens the doors for greater understanding of the self and of the world around us. Find wisdom by taking knowledge and combining it with experience. The practice of a path is more important than the philosophies or beliefs that make up a particular path. Remember, it's what you do that defines you more so than what you say or what you identify with. Words and titles are merely a way for others to get an idea about who you are and what you do. What you do with those things is what truly matters in the end. It's about never giving up. It's about the continued push forward. Codes and mantras and philosophies and all of these things are great, and they help build the foundational base on which we build our temples. But to know them is just to know them. You have to practice them. You have to believe in them. And you have to keep pushing forward. I hope you can forgive me for going through these kind of quickly. It was my intention to scratch the surface of this topic and explore some of the basics. And honestly, because this topic is pretty timely. We are developing a training program that will help and empower others, to provide a place of learning where people who are looking for these kind of answers can find them. And we will touch upon these understandings and many, many, many more in a more detailed way in the very near future. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all very much, and until next time, awaken the night within.